everybody, how's it going? Todd Spears here with a few other special guests on the call. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Well, I can hear you.
I hear too. There we go. Now we're getting some feedback. Cool. Hopefully there's not much of a delay. I understand this is streaming out to various Facebook groups. Cool, cool, cool. I see a lot of people coming in now. Sorry for the slight delay. My PC, unfortunately, decided to update itself just a few minutes ago as I was beginning to start getting things going here. So I had to fire up the good old Surface Pro. And it seems to be working well. All right, guys, we are about to get started here. So get a little sound check. Herc, I can hear you just fine. And I believe I hear Chris in the background. Anybody else out there want to say hello real quick?
No, just us.
Right.
Just me, you, and Chris, and all the people in there.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure the majority of you are, usually I get a lot more feedback. I see a lot of new names in here as well.
Yeah, guys, let me just comment on that real quick. I know that you guys, the normal way we do webinars is what you're used to, and this time you're seeing us go through the Messenger app as well as putting in your mobile app. Todd and I are testing this. Chris is showing this to us, Chris Winters, who is going to be on the webinar, obviously presenting all this awesome info. But he's showing us this new way, and it is something that we want to move into simply because a lot of you guys are saying you're either not getting emails to attend webinars or you wish we had better calendar updates. Well, this is a way for us to not only notify you by Messenger that webinars are going to be coming, but also we can start sending you text message notifications. So it was just a great opportunity to learn and test all this stuff. But your names didn't come in correctly the way we wanted to. So we don't think quite the way we normally do. So forgive us if we don't, if we're talking to you and we don't call your name the right name. We might call you TC Costin. Your name might be Tom.
Yeah, that was kind of throwing me for a loop there for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I don't recognize all the familiar names. Anyway, okay, Tim. It's Tim Costin. Now I recognize your name. Cool, cool, cool. I started to read between the lines here a little bit, so very, very cool. All right, guys. Well, let's get started. Herc, let me know when you are ready.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit record, and then you can walk Chris in for us.
All right, here we go.
Starting the recording in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Spears here along with my partner Herc Magnus, and if you're registered for this training today, then obviously you know that we have a very good friend of ours on the name of Chris Winters. We've worked with him several times over the past few years, and we know that he always brings some great, valuable information and training to our group. So that is what this is. And more importantly, today we are going to be going over Chris's strategies to rank businesses in the Google 3-pack. And I know that all of you out there understand how extremely important getting clients or your own local sites into that 3-pack. There's a lot of clicks that come through there, a lot of phone calls come through there. So without further ado, Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine on here, so yeah, I'm all ready if you guys are ready.
All right, ready to go, and just say hello to everybody out there, just so we know you're on the call as well.
Hey everybody, I'm on the call as well.
All right, guys. Well, that's enough for us. Chris, I will let you take it away.
Okay, cool. So one thing I'm going to do here a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and just turn on the, if I can. Do I have that ability to do that? I guess I don't. If you want to, somebody has a controller. If you want to turn on the video, it'll just turn on to the side. That way, people can always match your face with the voice. Let you know I'm a real person, not trying to hide behind my computer or anything like that. So if someone's got the ability to do that for me, that would be great. Otherwise, I will just go ahead and get started. here. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Google Business, my 3-pack. And surprise, surprise, at the end of this presentation, all I'm going to ask for is questions and answers. I'm not going to ask you about your PayPal account or anything like that. This is pure value. This is actually what I do in my business. Some of you may think it's kind of basic, but there's going to be some stuff in here I guarantee that you haven't done before. We've done this successfully, literally for hundreds of clients. So we'll have some value for you. Even if you're an expert at this, I guarantee you'll pull out some gold nuggets from here. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll get started here. Let's get going. Okay, so what you're going to learn in this section on here is how I rank Google My Business, aka 3-pack, how we verify Google Places. That's pretty basic stuff, right? But you never know who's on the call. Optimize Google My Business, and it'll get better as we go along here. Citations, and then last part, this is the magic right here, real reviews. So make sure you stick around to the end here. Again, I got nothing to sell you, anything like that, just pure knowledge on here. And I'm going to show you some actual results here that we get with this. So all without the tech and overwhelm. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you on here, it helps increase my clients' revenue, a minimum of 30% gross revenue at the end of every month, usually 50 or 60%. So a lot of times I'll end up doubling someone's business by doing the methods I'm going to show you here. The same system I use here also automatically, is kind of a side effect, will also rank their regular site organically, at least in the top 3 spots. I'm going to show you some actual case studies here, and you'll see that. How we dominate basic listings on page 1. It's kind of 2 for the price of 1 on here. And then also, more importantly, is how I track everything, how I track the calls, all that came from the Google My Business, and also anyone who went on Google My Business and then went to the website. We track all that because you got to be able to quantify what your worth is. Okay, and outsource 100% of this. There's not much to outsource, so that's the good part. It's just the front end. After that, it's on autopilot pretty much. Okay, and then I easily charge $1,000. Depends on the amount of revenue that the business generates and all that kind of stuff, but you'll see why. Okay, so one of our niches here is plumbers on here. See, this is just some of the screenshots of these guys. So this stuff really what does work on that. And what I'm sharing with you today is what I actually do here. And I'm not bragging. It's not on here. I'm just rather showing you what's possible. This is revenue that came for the month. And this is gross revenue, not net. This gross revenue that came in for the month of April on here. And this is only for my B2B agency on here. And part of this revenue comes from getting and ranking in the Google 3-pack, and then that reoccurring revenue that comes in here. Now, I wish I'd take home all that money, but I don't. I got business partners, I got employees, I got a team, I got advertising. So at the end of the day, I probably get around 25% of that, but that ain't bad. The only reason I'm showing that too is I remember a little while ago when I first started out, someone accidentally showed me one of their screenshots of their bank account, and it was $20,000, and they're like, they get it every month. And at that time, I'd never made more than $40,000 in my entire. I was totally awestruck. And it showed me what was possible, and it motivated me to push me forward. So, all right. So on the plumbers on here, normally what I do with my clients is that I will easily double their revenue, especially if they've never been on page 1 at all. I'll easily double their revenue on here. And for a plumber, that can mean on here, plumber going from $500,000 annual revenue to over 1.2 million. That comes out to $58,000 per month in revenue that comes in. Now, plumbers have a lot of overhead. They got trucks and drivers, insurance, and all this kind of other stuff. But it's a lot. When you do that for a business, you change lives. Okay, you change lives on that. And I charge for that $5,000 a month, every single month on that. And that really only takes around 2 or 4 hours per week. You'll see that here. It's hardly any work at all. And I don't mean that in like a, like a haha, it's just a little tiny work. Hey, if you got the knowledge and you've got the willpower and you know how to take a business and you can like increase their monthly revenue by 30, 40, 50% or more, you deserve it for that. Okay. On here, these are some of the ranking factors. I know a lot of you out there know this kind of stuff, but I want to point this out. I don't necessarily agree with this. It's probably outdated anyways in 2017. But some of the ranking factors for a website to rank, especially local on here, is Good Google My Business on here. It's up to 20% or 19%. And citations 13 and reviews 13. I think the reviews are much higher factor in here. And you'll see that a lot of what I do depends on the reviews and the systems that that we've just hire someone else to do. Again, that's no affiliate link or not. It's just what I use, and here you can go out and use them too if you want to. Old 7-pack, new 3-pack, right? Maybe it'll be a 2-pack next month or something. They're always changing that. Just a reminder on here. I know we got a smart crowd on here, but hey, look, it's always good to know, be reminded that particularly with local search, everybody is using their mobile phones, right? That's where everyone's going to this. Okay, so very few people are using their desktop. So if we look at the desktop versus a smartphone on here, pretty much looks the same going off here, but once you go to click on one, and you more likely click on that first one because it's got so many reviews on it compared to the others, then it starts to look a little bit different, and this is where things change on here. Is that on the phone, right, we're going to always follow the path of least resistance. If we want that plumber, all we got to do on our phone is just tap that little call button, and we call them. We don't got to dial numbers or anything like that. It's important to remember because the strategy really depends on that. Verifying Google My Places, super simple. I'll go really quickly on here. Look, some businesses, when we do hundreds of these, some businesses actually qualify for just a phone call or an email review. I don't know how Google determines it, but I'm just telling you, it can happen. It doesn't happen very often, but obviously, if it happens and it's a new listing, hey, inform your client to definitely go for the phone call, email, and not the mail on here. It's the slowest method, but more than likely that's what you're gonna have to do. 2 to 3 weeks later, then you can really get started. Okay, so optimizing Google My List on here. This is basic stuff, but sometimes we gotta hear this stuff over and over again. Okay, so 100% got to fill out everything on that. Again, everything on here. No keyword stuffing, nothing silly like that. Okay, you want to fill it out as though you're writing everything, as though a real prospect is looking through all of it and determining whether they want to do business with a plumber or a dentist or whatever. And that good old name, address, numbers are all the same on that. It's the basic stuff there. We all know that. And look, your addresses should be the same, consistent across, right? It doesn't need to be exact. You could abbreviate suite, the word, or suite. There's no problem with there. You could abbreviate street to street in different areas. There's no problem with that either. But don't like completely switch things like suite for room and stuff like that. Okay, optimizing starts from the very beginning on here. A lot of people skip this. It's the introduction when you're opening up and you're showing a new Google My Business. Don't miss out on this. This is really important. When I mean 100%, I mean everything on here. Take the time to do this. You only got to do it one time and do it right. It pays off huge dividends if you do. No keyword stuffing. Just write it as for your audience, which would be somebody, a prospect, doing business with your client. Write it for them, right? Try to persuade them to come on board. That's what you want to do. Don't keyword stuff it. Okay, what information the prospect would actually need to know in order to make a decision, a buying decision on here. Okay, so then now we kind of get into the stuff where this is really, really critical on here. You don't want to miss any of these next steps on here. Is with your photos and the tool on here. Super important to make sure you got the best of the best doing this. And this is the company we use on here. I'll just show you right now. It's right here. It says Google. Why not have Google come out and do it? Okay, have Google do it. They do it, anywhere. All the countries have AdWords. They got them here. You can filter by state, and then you can get a trained person to come out. It's got the right equipment. They know what they're doing. Right? They're going to do the right. They're going to do the right geotagging on here. They're going to do all of the right meta tags on all the photos on here and on the tours of the facility, and I highly recommend that you get everything that you can with it. And you can use all those for your citations as well. Just get the experts to come out and do it at the right time. Let me show you. I just pulled up just right before this call some examples. I just did Dennis Phoenix. I just randomly started looking through, and this is one that I found. This is the dentist office. I want to show you. This is one where they clearly did it themselves on here. Not only does this hurt conversions when prospects come on, but Google doesn't like it because I guarantee it doesn't have any of the tags on here, none of the longitude and latitude, doesn't have any of that kind of stuff on here. It's just total amateur hour on here. So that's not it. And it's really important. Customers do look at this stuff. I found one right up here, Premier Valley Dentist. It's professionally done. Professional came out. That's a professional photo right there, that kid. Okay. You know anything about photography? I know a little bit about it. I'm an enthusiast, but this has been color graded on here. This is nice. It's shot with a wide angle on here. That's the lobby. Now it comes through here, and this is the actual tour part. You can see little arrows. I'm not going to do the tour, but you could do a tour through the office. So they'd had a Google professional come out and do this. That's not such a great photo right there, but this is like, it's nice. They color graded the lawn to make it just pop out. And this is important. This is really important stuff to have this here. You know, you might think a front door or whatever. They got another tour too. I think, yeah, this is right here. This is the front door. You could tour and walk it in like you do a house. Google rewards you for having this kind of detail and this quality. Their whole deal is they want to have the end user have a great experience. Okay, so do it. Just trust that you're going to want to do that. Okay, so let me go back to the slide. I lost my spot. Okay, so pretty basic stuff. So far, you haven't done anything yourself except for maybe setting up the Google My Business for your client if they don't have it, or basically fix the one that they're already doing on that. So, okay. All right. So there we are. Let me get back into the slides. And there we go. Okay. Super simple. I'll have a whole list of some of these stuff that I use here, but this is Google Street View Hire. There's no reason why you shouldn't use them. Okay. Optimizing the font here, really important on here. Again, those guys will just do it all. That's what they do. Geotag it on here, have a 360-degree tour. No matter what kind of business it is, do it. Google rewards by ranking higher. It's a cumulative effect in here. Having the physical address attached to the photos on here, location, country tags. You could do it yourself if you're just a diehard do it yourself, you know. But you're not saving any money by changing oil in your car. Okay, go down for $14.95 and have someone else do it in 5 minutes. Okay, same thing here. Add these geotags images to all your sites. You can just use image here, and I'll show you later the company I use that's based in the US. They go out, they do the stuff. You can just give them the photos, and they'll use them for all the citations that are needed. Optimizing that. Make sure your categories. A lot of times people try they're trying to stuff keywords and trying to stuff more categories in to the actual business and categories and services that it does. You're thinking they're trying to help it out. You're not. Okay, just only go the categories that the business actually does. Okay, now this is where we're going to start connecting. Okay, we got to start connecting. We need to take credit, and we need to remind your clients on here every month why they're paying for us. Okay, and one of the ways is to track the results. Okay, so this right here, a lot of people look on their phone, are going to look online, and they'll click on the website. So they've gone to the Google My Places. Let's say the Google My Places is now ranking in the top 3. A lot of people are going to start clicking. A lot of people are going to click on this call. Let's start with the website. How do we track that so we can take credit for that? That's important. We need to track it on here, and we can connect it to an AdWords account on that. Super easy to do. This is actually one page. I'll actually go this page afterwards. I think it's easier to explain on this here. Basically, I'll go to this page right after this. You're just going to enter in on here your client's URL, whatever their company URL. I put in callzoo.com. A campaign source. This is just for your own naming. Okay, I'm going to put in GMB for Google My Business. I could have wrote out Google My Business. Doesn't matter. It's going to show up. That name that you put in there is going to show up in your AdWords account so that you can know what you're tracking, where those numbers are. Organic GMB. That's it. Okay. Then at the bottom of the page, it generates a code on that, and that code you're just going to simply enter it in to the Google My Business with a website, and it'll accept it. Let me show you on the page. It's actually easier. It's just one of that actually look kind of complicated. Yeah, it's just right here. Again, I'll get you all these links at the end of here. I just enter in your company's website in here, name it. You need to name it later, and it's just going to generate that link and just do it. From now on, you can start tracking it. And trust me, if they've never been in the 3-pack before, they're tracking the stuff, I would definitely start tracking it before, because okay, you get like 1,000 hits a month. When you get in that 3-pack, I'm telling you, there's going to be like 4,000 or 5,000 or 3,000 hits. You're going to get an increase of well over double just through this. And you want to be able to take credit for that. Okay. To slides here, and okay. So what shows up next then on your account, on your Google account on here? What you're going to find here is you just have it'd be GMB or Google My Business, whatever you named it before. And then you can start looking at the amount of hits it gets. Now, you're going to get a lot more calls than you are visits, but you want to track it all. Okay? So that's what we're going to get into next, is this next one right here. Call. People who go onto Google, My Listing is going to be on a website, but the vast majority is going to do it through the phone. They're just going to tap to call. They don't have to dial in. It's the easiest thing to do. They looked at the reviews. They like everything. Bam, they're going to call on that, and you want to get credit for that call without messing up their NAP, right? So we track the calls from the Google My Business. Okay. Now, for the longest time, I did not recommend adding a tracking number. Now I'm a pay-per-call guy, so I track everything through numbers. Okay, through phone numbers, and it was killing me that I couldn't do it, or I felt like I couldn't do it with the Google My Business. I could just track number of visitors that came to their website, but the calls, yes, yeah, we got an increase in calls, that's great, but I could never really quantify it. I mean, they had an increased revenue, but I want to quantify my work on that so that I can clearly justify what they're paying me, okay? Paying my company. So we figured out a way, and we tested it out. We've done this on easily over 50 websites and our Google My Places, and it does not affect their ranking, their NAP, nothing. And that is just, my team figured this out. It's just basically inside the Google My Business, you go to phone numbers, you click it down, and it gives you the primary number. You can enter the primary number, and you can also add 2 additional phone numbers. Well, what we did is we put in the primary number, we put in the additional number column. And in the primary number, we replaced it with a call tracking number. Fingers crossed, went forward, nothing happened. We did it again and again and again and again, and that doesn't hurt it at all. And that's awesome, because today we get to track all that stuff. And we can there's all kinds of tracking services out there. There's tons of them. You can use whatever your favorite ones are, but here's 3 on here. All right, so that's really important, right? Everybody's understanding the importance of tracking the calls, tracking the visitors to the website, so you can quantify your worth, and it will go up considerably. Okay, this is another thing I think it really helps in the ranking of that, and that's to connect your customers plus YouTube to their Google My Business. And if you go to Google My Plus and if you go through that and you fill it out completely, you'll see you can connect your YouTube and your Google My Business. All right, so where have we been so far in here and where we're going? We've got the Google Places, we've optimized it, and now we're going to get into citations, which is super easy. And this part you should outsource all the time, because otherwise it's just not good use of your time. And then the last thing we'll go over is how we get real reviews, and it's completely systemized, okay? And the business owners can do it. All right, so we all know that. Now, the thing about citations, right, they're a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's actually just a big racket, right? All it is that every time you enter in a phone number and the information in there, you're really just entering in and giving permission to have salespeople call you. And that's just the bummer part about it. It just used to really bother me and my clients, and I've even tried to rank locally without them. Just painfully realize that you got to have them. Okay, it's just, again, it's a total racket, but you got to deal with it. And that's what it is. It is what it is here. So how many, with citations, depends on the niche and the competition. How do you know? On that, you just go to, my team uses the Systems Intelligence and White Sparks. We just love them. There might be better ones out there. Point is don't do it yourself. Okay, don't do it yourself on that. Let me just show you the services we use there. What we got? Boom, right there. All righty, so best citations. This is for plumbers here, and this is just suggestions that they have based on their database, whatever the niche is, car rental, whatever. It shows you what the top citations are. So that is part of the intelligence. The other thing that we use through White Sparks on here is we sign up for one of these accounts, and then it'll allow us to competition, because we want to know, hey, the competition that we're trying to rank in the top 3, what kind of citations do they have? And then we compare that with, so I suggest here, and we're just trying to out citation them and make sure we include all the good ones. And then we just have them. We just look, they have this citation building. They do it for you. And clean up citations. Let them do it. Okay, it's really inexpensive. That's what they do. There's no reason you should waste your time doing it. There's no reason you should try to hire for $2 an hour somewhere overseas. I mean, just have the right guys do it. And because this is it. Once this is done, you're done. Okay, and that's it. So this is a one-time deal. Charge your clients. It's a retainer fee or whatever, and you're good to go. You've invested very, very little time in here yourself with that. Let's continue on here. All right, so we're going to get into the juicy stuff here. Okay. All right, so far, super easy, all white hat, all works on that. So tips on building the citations on here. Always make sure that the email that you're using is your client's email, something that whatever support or whatever at theirdomain.com. Don't be using the free accounts. Make sure your NAP is there. Don't worry about little formatting differences. The algorithm is far smarter than that. Put some trust in it. So any of this different formats of phone numbers will work just fine across all the citations, websites and stuff. Same with street names, come on, the algorithms know between circle and abbreviation of circle and east and place and all that kind of stuff. Even if you, for the company name, even if you abbreviate corporation or company or CO, and even the abbreviation for and. So more tips when you hear the categories on here. Should follow the same rules. This is kind of when you're filling out citations, you're having someone else fill out citations, having the pros do it. It's kind of like you're also filling out and kind of mirror what the Google My Business is. So again, citations, just what they don't try to overstuff the categories in there. Add as much detail as possible, description, all that kind of stuff. Use the same photos that you had done. Claim your listings. Now, this is the thing, is that the citations that carry more weight, in my opinion, that are a little bit harder to qualify, the ones that maybe require a phone call, just a couple more hoops to jump through. Let the people at White Spark take care of that stuff. Work with your client. A lot of times it's a phone verification. Sometimes it's an email verification. Just get that done on that. You shouldn't be a part of that. Hire that out. Okay. So where have we been so far? Verifying the Google places, optimize, citations, consistency in the NAP, and then last part, and this is the juicy, this is where it brings everything home. And we've had all of our success, and all the stuff is basic, right? Everything I talked about before. Thinking about offline marketing, even if you've never done or ranked a Google My Business before, you probably know all those steps, right? But this last one, this is the killer on here. This is the one you got to do correctly. Otherwise, anyways, this is where all our success comes from. So let me ask you a question on here. Which one of these would you buy? These is the Amazon product on here. Would you buy the one on your left or the one on your right? Just real quickly, you're looking maybe for this outlet on here, and you're looking at these two. Which one would you buy on that? Well, most people are going to select, even though it's more money, are going to buy the one that has almost 9,000 reviews versus the one that just has one review, right? Reviews are important, is my point. They're not just important for the algorithm. they're vitally important for the prospects that are going to land on your clients' Google My Business and on their website, because you're going to have those ranking on page 1. Okay. And this is not just traffic and get it on page 1. Page 1 means nothing unless you got conversions. Okay. So this reviews is the conversion part. And let me just, if you're not convinced yet, let me just convince you some more on here, show you some other statistics on here. But how important are the online reviews? Well, it's kind of like buy one, get two. I found this ad out here. That's pretty funny. I don't know how those car dealers pull that off. Notice they got the little Better Business logo up there. Anyway, so it's really important because reviews are critical for the 3-pack ranking, and they bring more leads. Customers read them, and they're just more likely to purchase if they got good reviews. It's just, you're the same way, so am I. No one's any different. But the reviews also increase the SEO rankings of your client's sites. We do it the correct way. And the way I'm going to show you is really cool. Okay. And it's all automated and all that kind of cool stuff, which is the best part. So look, how important are online reviews? 91% of customers read online reviews. I think 99% of them do. Okay. But 91 is good enough. They're important, right? Cornell University study found that a hotel can raise its prices by 11% for every 1 point it increases in its star rating without losing customers. You can charge more. Okay, you can charge a premium if you've got the right reviews in there. Consumers are also likely to spend 31% more on a business, excellent reviews, and a whopping 92% will use local businesses if it has at least a 4-star rating. It's just absolutely critical. Okay, if you're going to get a client, you're going to go through this process and your client's not 120% committed to delivering value, so they're going to end up with 3 stars and 2.5. You got it. Because you might be on page 1, but you're not going to see much of an increase in business. You got to have both there. 36% of small businesses invest in review marketing. However, I would estimate probably around 4% actually do a really good job at it, and the other 2% just kind of do a job, but they're completely lost. Okay, so but that's going to all change here, and the reason is because they just lack an easy system to implement this. Look, we all know working with local clients and stuff on here, whoever the decision maker is, whoever is your main contact person, they're always busy. They're swamped. It's hard to get them. And when you do get a hold of them, they're usually being, they're usually being constantly interrupted, and they go, oh, hang on, let me do this, and yada yada. They're putting out fires. They have no time for that. So you want to hand them over a system that makes it easy for them to implement. Okay, and it's a system like this. And again, the system. A system we use in our company, works great. I got no affiliate link, nothing with them. I probably should have put one in there, but I don't have it. I don't even think they offer it. So anyway, this is how this works. Let me walk you through the scenario and I'll show you the magic behind this. Okay. So just imagine here for a minute. We got this customer, we have this person out here, flood, sink, and they see the water flowing over, and then they go on the phone and say, yep, I can't fix this myself. So they go on the phone, they find a plumber, they call the plumber. Plumber comes out promptly, fixes it, everything is now better. And then at that moment, this is where the magic happens. Now this whole system, you can white label on it. It's just a few bucks a month. It's ridiculous. They need to charge more, but you can white label this so this becomes like your company app, and it has a dashboard, and they can gamify it with other employees, and the managers can look at the dashboard and see what all the reviews are coming day, and if the employees are doing a good job of getting reviews. Look, if they do the system correctly, what we found is that at least 40%, if they get 100 customers in the month, they'll get 40 of them at least to fill out reviews painlessly and easily. And this is where it happens. So what happens is the plumber came out, did a great job, and he's all cleaned up and ready to go. And before he goes, he opens up his phone, opens up the app. It's going to be your app, so you're going to be cool, right? And it's gonna be your company app, and then bam, he takes a couple of pictures of it, and then he writes a little bit about it. He says, hey, I just stopped by Mr. So-and-so's home, and they had a leaky faucet, yada yada. I was able to fix it, and this is what I did. And then they take that, and then through the magic of the app, it is going to then text to the customer and also email to the customer that those pictures and the little message, the little kind of what the plumber did, and then request a review. Super easy, and that happens even before the technician leaves. Like, oh wow, okay, God, he already wrote some pretty cool stuff in there. He put some pictures in there, so now the customer's happy. So why not? It's easy. I'll just do it right there. So yeah, I did a great job. You saved the day. Yada yada yada. Submit. Saved. It goes out. Now where does it go out to? It goes out automatically. Yelp, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, Angie's List, and then it also goes onto their website. This is where the SEO rankings from. Okay, super simple to do on here. So just recap here, and then I'll go over the details of how this ranks on here. The reviews, multiple sources. Here it just has the sources currently right now that are shown. Includes the image, has a comment from the service provider. So this is content. Okay, think about it as content. There's a comment from the provider, and then a comment and review from the customer. This is really good content. Google loves it. So the reviews post in real time, both out there on the review sites and also on your customer's site. And this is where the magic happens here. Okay, so the reviews, the app and the system is smart enough to know that, hey, if the review and the plumber, the review and the customer was from Phoenix, it's going to show up on plumberstud.com/Phoenix page. Or if the plumber got a review from Tempe, which is just a few miles away from Phoenix at the most, it's like a 5-minute drive or less out there, then those images, the comment from the provider and the review from the customer will show up on their page. Or if it was in Scottsdale. Okay, so this is, I'm going to show you the magic of that happen. And anyways, you see all the stuff on here. This is nearby now.co company. Also text message alerts when you get used. That can go to a manager or project manager on here. Can incentivize employees to get reviews. And if you're thinking, you know what, I don't have clients that go out and service customers like a plumber or someone who does carpets or something like that. This thing can be used for anything. Just open up your mind a little bit more on here. We've got chiropractors using this, a dentist using this, and chiropractors is super simple. Sometimes the receptionist will say, "Hey, let me capture a picture of you real quickly, a selfie of the two of us." She grabs her phone, boom, in the lobby right after the clients got done with it, and then she writes in a little message, and then she's collecting maybe medical information or the billing, whatever. She's already sent that out before the client even leaves the building. The doctor can do the same thing, and then you got all of these great reviews out there that have images of the doctor or the receptionist or the doctor's assistant. You can, it goes a long ways. Okay, so you can white label this as your own. Okay, yeah. And it's just a really cool service on that, and it works great. So let me give you a little bit more about the kind of SEO part. We've already connected the dots, but let me just go through this really quickly. So it's very common, for example, if you've got say a plumber or some type of that goes out to a customer's home, if they're located in Phoenix and their address is in Phoenix, then and they probably just have their website with Phoenix and maybe down below serving areas like Tempe, Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler. Well, a lot of them won't have on their website a separate page for each of these communities that they service to, and you need to add them. Okay, if they don't have them, you need to add them. And the proper way to add them, at least the way that we add them on that of it, is that we will make each of these pages look just like their Phoenix main page, but we'll make sure that the content on there is just rewritten very well, at least 80% unique to each other on here. And then what happens is this is the cool part. So, over the next couple of months, you're going to have some drivers that will show up for a job in Mesa. And then what happen is that through the power of this app and this technology on here in Mesa, there'll be a little heat map, a Google heat map on here, and it will start recording a Google heat map on this page at the bottom, all the places that they've serviced. And all the places that they've serviced, and it will have the star rating, and then below it a long laundry list of the reviews, the pictures, and that's content. Okay, that is content. And it happens in Gilbert here. And then what happens is that, you know, we all know that if you want to rank in Phoenix versus say ranking in Chandler for the same niche, it's going to be easier to rank SEO here in Chandler, right? And with that same thinking on here, you just start adding some content in the form of reviews and images on here, which is going to happen automatically. You have to do it, just the employee has to do what they're supposed to do. And you gamify it. You make like games and stuff out of it for employees to do that. And the project manager or the owner can monitor all this stuff from his or her computer on a dashboard screen. And you start ranking these way because you start adding content. And Google just loves this kind of content. It's like local content that they like. And this will start to raise. You start to get more traffic. And it collects these other separate pages out here. And when you get more traffic out to these pages, Google's gonna say, wow, you're bringing organic traffic in here. People must like you. Let's so increase the ranking of your Phoenix one too. And it just starts to snowball at that point. And that's how it works. All right, so on here, let's go over these steps here. You gotta verify the Google Places, optimize Google My Business. That just means fill it out 100%, man. Get in the good photos, do it the right way. It really pays off. Plus, you do it the right way with the photos. You get to use all the photos and tours. You can go into the citations on that. And those are going to make your citations even better. It's just a win-win. And the real reviews, that's the key, folks. Real reviews. Okay, let me just clean that. Well, again, recap what I show you. Actually, one here works time and time again. If you do it, it'll work for you on that. So you can increase your client sales. Literally, depends on the starting point, right? By at least a minimum of 30%. That's a lot for any business, okay? Same system I use to rank the Google 3-pack, automatically ranks the sites, their sites, usually in the top 3 positions. So you're gonna end up being on at least 2 positions on page 1, right? If you do paid ads on that, then you'll be on 3 or more each day. You can track every call, where it came from. You can also track all the visitors who came from the Google My Business to their website, and quantify and justify your monthly recurring fee on that. And the outsourcing part is really just in the beginning. It's just think about that. It's the citation in the beginning. It's getting the Google Places. It's just acting as a coordinator in the beginning to get the correct Google approved photographer and map person out there to do the 360-degree tour of the place. After that, what do you got to do? Just check up with them once a month or so and make sure they're doing okay. Check it out. Make sure they're staying on top of their reviews on that. And then I would meet them over the phone really quickly and just remind them, say, hey, I noticed last month was like a really good month, right? Because I saw that, hey, did you check out how many phone calls you got? Look, I showed you 321 phone calls came in. That's the good news. The bad news is that you only answered 225. So you got some work to do, but even then you probably had a stellar month, right? And I also noticed that we brought 2,152 people from the Google My Business to your website. Things are good, right? Cool. All right. I mean, that's what you need to do. Okay. And that's it. You're not doing anything else. And that's how you can end up charging that. It's just, there's just no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. So the links mentioned on here, pump those out. Super simple. It's just a Google approved photographer, citations. I like White Sparks. I know there's other services out there. So just use whoever, as long as they do a good job and you're not doing it. And there's no reason you should be doing citations. It's maddening work. You need to hire out nearbynow.co. Some kind of call tracking on that. Okay, it doesn't matter, just so you can track the calls. All righty. So look, for some questions and answers, I just want to let you know we're going to be doing a second training series this Saturday, and I'm going to be talking about call-only ads. Definitely going to want to stick around for that because this is one of my main sources of leads that I deliver to my clients on that. And the reason I do is it's an AdWords product, but pay-per-click is way too expensive. It's about 90% less. Basically I'm able to deliver live phone calls to my clients for somewhere between depends on the keyword, somewhere between $1.50 to tops maybe $3 or $4 for a call, not a click. For the same keywords using the same AdWords platform, that for maybe a really expensive keyword like maybe emergency plumber, something like that, which would be maybe around $20-$30 per click, depending on the city. On that, I'm gonna need to get 3 or 4 clicks before someone calls. That turns out to be like a $75 to $100 call versus a $3 or $4 call. Super simple. So I'm going to go over all that. Not a lot of people know about that. It's been around for almost 5 years. I don't know why no one uses it. I'm kind of glad they don't. But anyways, show you step by step how to set up a campaign. Very few people know how to do this. We spend easily about $4,000 a day on these campaigns. So we pretty much know what we're doing with them. And I'll show you the exact landing pages that we use. Unlike pay-per-click, where kind of everything depends on the conversion rate and the quality score of your landing page, with call-only ads, it's just from the cell phone where they're clicking that call button. They're not being sent to any landing page. So your landing page is basically kind of a formality, and that's it. And I'll show you how free and ugly they are, because basically just a Google bot looks at it, make sure it's got all the qualifications. One image, one title, a phone number, a disclaimer, done. No human being looks at it. So anyways, super simple. If you're not doing it, you need to be. And then we're gonna do a third training series on here, a preview of that, of how I look. For my business, I refuse to cold call. I would be out of business if I didn't find another way to clients, because I just will not cold call. And I don't even want to train other people how to cold call. I'm just not, that's just not part of the business I like on that. So anyways, got a system in place where we get clients to call me whenever I want. If I need more business, I just turn on the system. Clients call me. There's no cold calling. There's no email scraping. There's none of that nonsense. None of that stuff that everyone hates to do in the business. And a lot of people just like don't do it. And instead they just like, well, I know how to do this SEO skill or whatever pretty good. I'll get a couple referrals from some friends and I'll just kind of scrape along. It's not gonna, if you really want to grow, you gotta be able to turn on a faucet and get clients. The same training, share with you there. Jamie Randall attended that training on here, and he was like 7 clients now, but at the time of our thing, there's 62 clients. These are recurring. Okay, that's life-changing. That's a substantial agency right there. Okay, questions and answers. Booyah. All righty. So I hope I didn't put anybody to sleep out there.
Let's find out here. Let me just take a quick poll in the audience, you guys. What did you think? Give us a rating here of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst info you've ever received, 10 obviously being the best. We always like doing this.
Oh my God. For
me, it's a 10. Every time you come on, it's just you're so cutting edge with a lot of the stuff that you do. That's why we love bringing you on here. You can see. I don't know if the comments coming in. They're all awesome.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Chris is always
cool.
So yeah, guys, I did see a lot of you asking questions as well. I was kind of posting in there that Chris does have a Q&A period at the end. So let's do that now, guys. We can go right ahead into that Q&A. But thank you for giving Chris the props that he deserves for sure. Go ahead there, Chris. Or do you want me to read your questions, or do you can
if you could, that would be awesome. You can give it full attention, and you can
sure.
tee up the next one.
Yeah, let me do this. Any comments on Google's new rules about banning routed reviews? So that's coming up here a couple times.
Yes, that particular system that I did, whatever it is now on that they gave on there, they've got it all figured out. That's their job. That's the cool part about it. They're completely compliant with it. Right here, I'll just leave the screen here, the nearbuynow.co. Let those guys take care of it. They're the experts on here. On that, and I'm assuming how they're taking care of it right now is that all of our clients are fine, is that it will do the same thing, but then you have to route. You have to decide, okay, for this part of the week, all the reviews are going to go to our website. Okay, cool. And then the second part of the week, all of our reviews are going to go to our fan page or business page. Okay, great, and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like routed out to a whole bunch of them. So they're the experts to ask on that. And that's why we don't do it all of us, right?
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention about that too is like with that question, I know I've like the article, there was somebody posted a link in the article, and I see the articles going around, guys. You should never react with fear to that kind of stuff. You know, those articles are meant to scare people so that people talk, so that the article gets engagement and spreads. That's the job of these things. That's why we like to have guys like Chris on who do this stuff, who can answer those hard questions. You know what I mean? So don't give into those fear things. Don't ever let fear be a reason that you don't try something. Come and listen to people who are actually doing what they're teaching, and let them guide you and get your fear, you know, taken care of through, like how Chris is saying, Nearby Now, that's their whole business. They're not going to let their business disappear because of a stupid article. Like, they're going to figure this stuff out, right? So I just want to let you guys know, we've always preached that with everything, even with like this GDPR one is the next big one that's out there right now. Everybody's like, oh, GDPR. It's just like, calm down. All calm down. You know what I mean? So don't react to stuff like that. Okay, next question. If someone has 2 locations, should he do separate citations for each location? If not, which address would he use if he had 2 addresses?
Yeah, that's a great question on that. So if it's something like the example of here, like you've got a Phoenix, and then it would be like they would drive out to other areas, I would just use the one main Phoenix area. If it's 2 separate individual offices, like it's one chiropractic office and then another one on the other part of the town on the other of it, you should have 2 separate ones on that, because you got 2 separate businesses.
Okay, and then so this is a pretty good question too. What about the insights figures? Do you still need call tracking when you can get that inside the GMB?
I like to use my own call tracking on that, just because I have more control. But you can use anything that tracks it. So at the end of the week or end of the month, you've got clear data showing you, and you're able from there to extrapolate how much you've impacted the business, rather than, hey, yeah, things are going really good, I've definitely seen increase. You know, you want to take credit for that. Whatever you want. I like to use call tracking with a little more features to it, like billing, like our clients can log into the backside, they can see it themselves. Surprisingly, clients will miss a lot of calls. They won't know it because they've never really tracked it before. And they'll be like, wow, I got a huge hole I didn't realize in my business. I'm losing, 20% of calls just because we don't have a proper system to answer it. And listening to calls is really good for a project or a sales manager. A lot of times they don't have a sales manager. Often it's just a hardworking business owner working 70, 100 hours a week. And they got other people answering the phones. They've never taken the time to really train them or even listen to their phone calls. And this can be an opportunity to do that. So I like all the bells and whistles, but the bottom line is just track it.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, guys, to pay attention to. I know that GMB does give you the stats, like they send out the email and say, there's so many calls you got, there's so many views you got, stuff like that. But that's right. So when you add call tracking, you get that data from Google anyways. Plus now you get a second opinion of data from your call tracking, which is more feature rich, like Chris just said, including like call routing, which I don't even think was mentioned, but it's huge. In case you ever lose a client, you get to keep the call tracking number, just reroute your calls. Will there be a replay? Yeah, there's good. All the training that's coming up, Dan Free is going to be posted. And if you guys signed up for this webinar through the messenger button, we'll send you the links to get the replays and everything. Do you create the review site, or is that a service as well?
The actual review site, and I'm glad you asked that. It's a really good question. That means I didn't clarify that well in the presentation. The review site is actually just, all that we're doing is we're just using whatever the homepage is, the homepage. We're just adding basically a script that service offers. You put it at the bottom of the page, and it will start to fill up down below at the bottom. So it's not going to interfere with the top. The top is going to be like, okay, we've got, this, we've got yada, yada, yada. You can maybe off to the sidebar see, hey, if you want to check out reviews, press a button, it pushes them down to the bottom of the page. This is provided by that company, by the way. They've thought of everything, so you don't need to reinvent any wheel on here, and certainly don't need to go out and start building websites. And it's all there. And that's going to include a little heat map in there. And then over time, it'll start to show, wow, I've got all of these people right in my area that have used them. And it's got a little pin on it, and it shows a little like a 5-star rating or 4.5-star rating, and then all of the reviews down below and under it. And so page might end up being super, super long. But the point is that that's going to add to the SEO quality of it, because it's adding new content all the time. No one's ever going to look at all of it, but it's there if they wanted to. And it gives a little summary at the top, total reviews and stars and all that kind of stuff. So it's just add it to their page at the bottom.
This is a kind of interesting one. It's not really about the content you covered today, but it definitely plays into it. So how do you keep your customers walking away once you got them in the 3-pack?
Yep, scarcity question, and a valid one. So I'm not knocking you on that. I totally get it. On that, really, what you want to ask yourself is that's why I'm tracking it. Okay, our company's tracking it. We're tracking it so that we can quantify it. And the other thing that we're doing is that we're really emphasizing one of the main points of why this is working. It's working because of the reviews. And as they start to get more reviews, that's going to get competitive, and other of their competitors, they're going to start to see that other competitors start to get pushed out. So they're going to start to want to get reviews as well. So it's going to get competitive, and that is never going to stop. Okay. You're always going to have at least another 2 people on there or more that are going to want to take your position down and get pushed up into the Google 3-pack. It's really important. And then you can do all kinds of paid advertising, other things you can do too. But remember, they're using what they think is your system because you can white label it. And that's the whole apps and everything like that. They get ingrained in your system on here. They get trained to understanding the actual value of this. And look, when they've gone, seriously, we've had many plumbers that have gone from, making, $50,000 a month in gross revenue. That may sound like a lot, but for a company with all their expenses, it's really not that much, to then going to 110, 120 per month. That's more than doubling. And if you're charging $3,000-$4,000 a month for that, and that's coming in, you've got the systems, everything in play, they're not going to get rid of you. Okay, they're not. And if they do, just go to the competition. Let's go to the competition. Take away that system from them. They'll be lost for reviews at that point. So look, you want a good relationship with your customers. That's what it's all about on that. There's going to be some customers that are just going to be, that's just the way they are, right? You ever heard the story about the scorpion and the frog? Scorpion is a scorpion. That's why he stung them and they both sank. You can't change a scorpion on here. So there's going to be some clients that are going to be like that, but just focus on the 8% that aren't. They're going to build your business. Those are the ones that you want friends with.
And one more comment. Sorry to keep doing this, but I get into the shit. Guys, you have to remember, I got a piece of advice when I was early in this whole business that really, really stuck with me. And I know I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to say it in the future again to you guys because it's this important. It's like, don't worry about problems that aren't there. That's just gonna get you into this mindset of trying to deal with something that hasn't even happened yet. Worry about problems when problems are problems and not until then, because it's a waste of time and energy to do that. And I understand your question about keeping clients and stuff like that, and that's why kind of Chris is saying it's a scarcity question, and I get that mentality, but just trust me on this, guys. Deal with issues as they arise in those situations. You'll be far better off. And I could put it to you like this. How many of you guys been worried about any type of particular situation, and then when it actually materialized, it was exactly what you thought it was going to be? It rarely ever happens. It's different. Things are just not what you think they're going to be. So I just stay positive, guys. Point yourself where you want to go, and just put the horse blinders on and go forward. You will get there.
Oh man,
I get really passionate about this stuff because I've changed my life so dramatically in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just crazy. And if I can do it, anybody can really do it. You just need the right mind frame. I'm a huge optimist, by the way, guys. You probably know that already. Can you show me the services again? That one slide with the services.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Let me go back to that. That one, I think. Yeah, what you focus on expands, becomes your reality.
Yeah. Everybody that's asking that didn't either get the PDF or the slides, okay, the outsourcing stuff, it's because you need to, the way we did that, guys, is you had to submit your phone number. You had to tick the little box, the SMS box, and say, yes, I want to receive these slides. If you didn't tick that box, you didn't get the slides. So at this point, Chris, how do we get those people the slides? Would they just have to go through and just sign up again?
Yeah, so yeah, the easiest, fastest way to do it is just we're huge on, my company's huge on customer support. That's another reason why our customers stick around. So you can get there 7 days a week. So just contact the support at callzoo.com, KALLZU.com. Son calls it Kale Zoo. I taught him how to make websites a few years ago, and he made a website called Kale Zoo and mocked my company. But that's what kids do on that. But anyways, yeah, just support at callzoo.com. Say, hey, attend the webinar. I didn't get my slides and stuff like that, and they will send them out to you. No problem.
Awesome. Let me see. Google call ads in Canada. Seen any of that yet? There's a good, interesting question.
The call only ads, AdWords?
Yeah, well, is the question, the exact wording question, has Google implemented call ads in Canada yet?
Oh, yet. There are call ads on that, and they do them for certain niches. Plumbers is one of them. In larger cities, they do them, but if you're, you can pay for them, and they're definitely, the last time I checked, they have like 9. I think there's 9 niches, but on that, but they're not only one of the niches that I mean, so don't pay attention to that. But they have them, and they have the same great low prices, and you're just getting exactly what you're paying for a call. And what's cool about it, Google's really cool about it, and the fact that, hey, if you accidentally get a sales call or you get a wrong number, you don't get charged for it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, call only, man, it's the way to go.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna dig a lot more into the next training, right?
Yeah,
and you guys are gonna want to be there. Okay, so like Chris said, these trainings that we're putting out, or that, sorry, he's putting out and we're hosting, these are just pure value training. So if you like today's, you're gonna want to come to the next one, which is going to be on Saturday at 2 p.m. 12 p.m. Mountain, yada yada yada. We'll remind you. We'll give you all the contact info and reach out to you guys. But if you do want to be on that webinar, guys, be looking out for our emails. Be looking out for our messages on the Facebook group and stuff like that. Don't just hope that we're gonna get into your computer and show it to you, because sometimes things go wrong. Like I said, we are changing things up. Chris is showing us, even in our own business, guys, showing us new ways to do things. But do your part too. You're really gonna want to be there on Saturday. Chris is gonna teach the call ad system in the same fashion that he did today as well. Yeah, there's going to be replays of everything. So when you're signing up for the webinars, like you're on today, we're going to be mailing you guys, and especially if you signed up through the Messenger platform, we're going to book message you the link to all the replays where you can get those as well. Okay, so maybe I'm going to just give you guys that link one more time. Just pop it in the chat box. Or Abby, can you pop that link in the chat box where people can sign up for through the Messenger, so that we can send everything to everyone through Facebook?
Cool beans. All righty. Some good questions.
Yeah.
Tough crowd out here, that's for sure.
Okay, let me see if I can find some more good ones in here. What do you charge per month for a Google 3-pack service, top 3 listing? Do you do a setup fee or monthly? If so, how much? Is it different for different services? The pricing question.
Yeah, the pricing question, sure. I mean, the best way to answer that is that you've got to know your niche. You got to know it well. Got to know what the average value of their customer is, and then at the end of the day, from that point of view, then you need to charge enough so they make a profit and they're smiling, and you make a profit and you're smiling. So there's There's some kind of happy trade-off there, and that's the way business operates, right? But you can't even begin to start until you actually know your niche. So if you're new to it, if you're new to a niche and you're diving in, then what I would suggest you do is do some research. There's plenty of information out there. I would start like by taking your niche name and saying whatever that is, buy plumber leads, and just put that into Google and just comes up. There's gonna be all kinds of leads. They're gonna be call only, there'll be call ad leads, there'll be email leads, there'll be shared ones, there'll be dedicated ones, and you just kind of get a feel for it. Okay, this is what the market is bearing for these kind of leads on here. And then just kind of take a note of that. And then if you know a plumber or know some of that business, you could a lot of people like to talk about their business and about themselves. So you could interview them and kind of find out what their business is about, what the average revenue is per client, their lifetime value of the client, and that kind of information. And that's a starting point, right? That's a starting point. And from there, you can start to figure out what a good price would be. In the beginning, it's probably best to kind of undershoot a bit rather than overshoot. And you could do one of two ways, and we do it one or two ways as well. And it really depends on the client. What the client prefers is we will charge like a base monthly for this type of service, and then and it'll be fairly minimum. It'll be like $1,000 a month, and then on top of that, we'll charge on a per call basis on that because we're tracking that. So it'll come back that per call basis method on that. Or you could flat rate for that as well, and you could build into the flat rate like as you go up a segment of call volume, you could also increase it there. You just got to dive in and do it. And that's why it's really important just to like get in and dive in and just like, just go for one niche and just go deep and far with it before you start adding other niches. Where you're going to get all spread and all kind of mucked up is if you just start taking on all kinds of clients from different niches. You got a real estate agent, you got a plumber, you got a hairdresser, you got a lawyer, you're going to go crazy. Just do one niche and go deep. You'll figure it out.
This is a pretty interesting one. So what's your, and this is Jason, I'm assuming he's talking about like a home-based business. So what's your recommendation for NAP when the business doesn't want to list their home address or show pictures of their home for obvious privacy reasons and stuff like that?
Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't.
One of those like UPS boxes or something like that.
You can't. No, Google's all over that. Google will. It's also really important. One of the things that I forgot to mention is that when you're filling out the Google My Business, is that you need to select on there that customers can come out there. Otherwise, Google's not gonna. They'll just forget about it. It was like, it's just a house, no one's going to show up. They're not even going to, you're going to get pushed to the bottom of the line. So it's really important that you check that off. I would say that's a good question. We've got to come up with like a creative way, like a legitimate creative way to be able to show the images, knowing that if it's that type of business, hey, clients aren't going to stop by anyways, right? You're doing this to rank, and it's worth it because you could. I mean, if you're not even showing up on page one, and all of a sudden you are, your business is just going to change overnight. So it's totally worth it to come up with something, even if it would be something like, you know what, this is how I would, because it's so worth it, and you always, look, you get paid in proportion to the problems you solve. Don't ever forget that. All right, that's Elon Musk on that. You serve coffee at Starbucks, you don't solve a lot of problems, that's what you get paid, right? So this would be something I would do. Have you ever, like I do a lot of Airbnbs, I travel a lot, but like if you sell a home, right, what you do is they have staging companies that come out and stage it with the right furniture and stuff like that. They come out, movers, stage it, decorate it, and then they got the professional photographer that does all the wide lens screens and everything, and just makes the house look like, wow, like it's jumping out of the pages of a magazine. That's what I would do to that place. And I would have I'd have the photographer come out and do it. And I would have them set it up so that it looks like maybe the living room was like a little bit of a reception area, something like that. That's how I would do it. I would do the walkthrough. I would do everything on that, and I would just bang it out. It'll be worth it. And guess what? Your competition ain't going to do this, man. They ain't going to do it. Not in that niche. You can have that page one all to yourself. Oh yeah. Sorry, it's late my time.
Good. Lydia, I think, you know what, guys, we're kind of getting over an hour. We kind of want to keep these to 60 minutes just because, you know, Chris is coming on for free and just giving you guys a lot of good info. Chris, you good with like another 5 minutes here, 10 minutes?
Yeah, you bet.
I know you got a family and you got stuff to do too. So let me see if I can find any more good ones. Did anybody not get a call answer or a question answered that they've asked and we're missing it? Just please type it in again. Just because there is a lot of chatter in the box here, so I know I might miss some stuff. Everybody wants the link again. Okay, the link I put in your chat box for you guys is a long, ugly link, and that's my fault. Let me do it again here. I'll put an easier, nicer one in there for you. It's the same thing. The link that I'm putting in the chat box, guys, for all the people who want to make sure they're on the next webinar, for all the people who want to make sure they're downloading the 40 or the 52-page PDF and the slides and the replays, go through that link, guys. Sign up through the messenger button. Okay, that's going to allow us to notify you what's going on through Facebook Messenger, so it's not a lot easier and faster for you guys. On the next page, it's going to be Chris introing all the free training and stuff, and that's where you can register for the webinar and click the little box. And when you tick that box, put in your phone number, and we'll send you the PDF to your phone. Okay, and if you don't see the link, I'll send it to you privately. Here you go. Okay, and if you guys have any issues beyond that, please. I don't see how you guys are not seeing this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take the screen here for a sec, Chris.
Yep.
Because I just don't understand what is going on. Let me open this up here. I'm going to give you guys shit if I go through this and I see it and hang on. Okay, here, I'm going to take the screen, guys. I'll walk you through this, okay? Okay. Do you guys give me a 1 if you see my screen? Okay, to discover how we easily rank.
That's a 1.
This is what you're going to do, guys. For all the things that I just said, you're going to want to sign up to the Messenger app so that we can notify you and everything. Very simple. Make sure you're logged into Facebook. Number 1 might be the issue. Once you're logged into your Facebook profile, come to this page, the link I put in your chat box, and click this. Click it. Okay. That's going to add you to our list so we notify you. Scroll down. I already did. Of course, now we're not seeing it. Oh, you guys, you're all right and I'm wrong. But on this page, guys, I think it's because I already signed up.
Yeah, because you already signed up and it.
Yeah,
I recognize that. So
underneath, you'll see it. You'll see the little place to put your email address, and then there's a little tick box that says, yes, I also want to receive the. I'll put in my phone number to receive the PDF. That's why probably some of you are not seeing it. You probably already signed up. In that regard, guys, that's where you're going to go last resort and email support@callzoo.com. Does that make sense? Okay, guys, you're going to have to email support@callzoo.com because we can't, I mean, guys, honestly, we can't spend the rest of the webinar supporting you and helping you each individually get the thing. So email support@callzoo.com if you've gone through the process I just showed you and something's still not worked, and Chris's team will help you out over there. I do want to use our time wisely here, and we've already used up 5 minutes doing this. Let's just get to a couple last questions. I don't even really see, no other questions came in when I said that. Oh, no, that doesn't count, Max. That's more about what systems we're using for messenger bots. That doesn't matter. Wrong webinar. Okay, here we go.
Okay, great. I'm super happy everybody wants the slide. That means there's some desire out there. Just, I promise you, one way or another, between the 3 of us, we will get you the slides. So don't worry about it.
This is a pretty good one by Chris. Customer already has citations for existing phone number. Now we want to add call tracking NAP will change adding the new call tracking number. How do you handle that situation when you want to add call tracking to existing NAP?
Yeah, that was the big question, right? That was the big question that we had for like years. Like, how can we track this stuff? And I showed you guys on the slides, but it's super simple. It's super easy. Inside Google My Business, when you go to the section to enter in the customer's phone number, there's a drop down now, and the drop down in there has a place for 3 phone numbers: a primary. I'll show my screen again and I'll go back to that. There's a primary. Let me just go back. Where is that? There's a primary one, and that's not this. Go right to it. There's a primary one. Whoopsie. So you do the drop down. Find that little image of the drop down because it's where is it? It's right here. It's right there. That's it. Oh yeah, you'll find the tracking. You'll find the phone number right inside the Google My Business. There'll be a drop down, and it'll drop down these 3. There'll be a primary number, an additional phone number, and additional phone number. Okay, and we've more than tested this out. This works guaranteed. Will not hurt NAP at all. Take their primary number, which has always been their primary number, and just put it as the additional number, and replace the prime number with the tracking number. It will not guarantee it will not hurt their NAP. Good question. That's the key thing there, right? I don't know anyone else is doing that. I can't take credit for it. My team came up with this, but there may or may not be other people out there doing this. There may be people out there who don't care about tracking. I do.
That's a awesome way to do that, actually. It's simple, right? But it's ingenious. Because you definitely want the call tracking on this. Do you pay the customer pay for the Google 360s?
What we do is we add, it's just like we're the middle person, right? The middleman. They're not going to the wholesaler, they're coming to us. It's part of our service. Hey, we'll have our camera crew out there. They're Google certified.
Nice.
Yeah, you just stack on whatever on top of it that you want. You're not going to make your money from, that's not where you're making your money. So don't look at it like, oh, this is where I'm going to make all my money by charging 3 times the amount that Google Places does. That's not it. Charge enough for your time, yada yada. But you're in it for the long game, the long haul, and what you want is some good pictures on here, because you know that that's going to be part of the key component for their citations, for everything to get those.
Okay, you know what, guys? Let's end it there, because that's a good place to end it. Just because those are just great tricks and great information for making your business look pro, adding value to the customer, but still being able to know where your money comes from. Let's leave it at that. We will be back on Saturday, guys. We will email the replay. We will Facebook message you the replay. Please thank Chris for coming on and giving you a great training. And he will be doing it again on Saturday. So let Chris know your thoughts, guys, just before he goes. And then we'll end it at that. Todd, you still around?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, great stuff, Chris. Thanks for coming on and sharing all this information with our crowd. Really do appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, man. I have a lot of fun talking about this stuff. So we'll do it again.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it. And we will see you all again on Saturday afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody.